Evening class, my name is Sharmeek Person, and today I'm going to be covering Chapter 19, Broadband and Home Networks. To give you a brief little table of contents about what we're going to be going over today, we're going to start off with the introduction and background, and then we're going to move to the common broadband technologies and net neutrality. We're going to talk about the current status of broadband and home networking and the future factors to watch, and then we're going to finish up with the discussion board question. So first, the introduction. So at the beginning of the current decade, there was more than 1 zettabyte of digital data. According to the ITU, that number is expected to double every 2 years. Broadband is a general term used to describe high-speed internet. In the United States, the Federal Communications Commission, also known as the FCC, defines broadband as connectivity with speeds greater than or equal to 25 megabytes per download and 3 megabytes per second upload. Actual speeds in the United States are generally slower, but those rates are growing. On the other hand, you have the Economic Cooperation and Development, or also known as the OECD. They define broadband as connections equal to or greater than 25 megabytes per second upload and 3 megabytes per second download. So you see with the different organizations, the numbers switch. So both wireless and wired broadband penetration rates continue to grow. I decided to tell you the definition of penetration rate because it's used a lot in the chapter. So the penetration rate is measured by the number of broadband subscribers per 100 inhabitants. The OECD estimates that the penetration rate has increased to nearly 70% with the 34-country OECD group. With the growth of tablets and smartphones, it's becoming more and more common for people to have multiple access points to broadband services. Next, you have the background. So the broadband networks can use a number of different technologies to deliver service. Common broadband technologies include digital subscriber line, cable modem, satellite, fiber cable networks, and wireless technologies. And we're going to go a little into depth about those technologies a little later. Next, you have the Telecommunications Act of 1996. So the goal of this new law is to let anyone enter into any communications business and to let any communications business compete in any market against any other. So because of this, broadband providers includes telephone companies, cable operators, public utilities, and private corporations. Talking about the common broadband technologies, we're going to start with the digital subscriber line, or also known as the DSL. So this is a technology that supplies broadband internet access over regular telephone lines. The ADSL is the most widely used for the broadband internet access, and customers has a modem that connects to a phone jack. Next, you have the fiber to the node FTTE. This is a hybrid form of DSL. So organizations like Verizon Fios and AT&T use this type of broadband network. Fiber to the home, or FTTH, is the backbone of both cable and telecommunications networks. It employs fiber optic networks all the way to the home, and the fiber optic cables are extremely fast. Next is the cable modem. The cable television providers also offer internet services. So internet access can come into the home on the same cable that provides cable TV services or telephone services. And then you have satellite. So if you live outside that DSL reach or in more of those rural areas without cable, the modem is connected to a small satellite dish which then communicates with the service provider satellite. The satellite internet cannot deliver the bandwidth of cable or DSL, but speeds are better than dial-up. Then you have wireless. Two types of wireless broadbands is mobile and fixed. Mobile is offered by telephone companies, and they employ 3G and 4G networks. Then you have the fixed broadband is used either Wi-Fi or WiMAX. The broadband over power lines, or the BPL, this was thought to be the wave of the future. Power lines went into every home, making it easy to understand how convenient it would be to use these cables and to send the broadband data into the home. But several factors caused the broadband to lose its appeal. Next, you have the home networks. So computer networking was only found in large organizations such as businesses, government office, and schools. But several factors changed the environment and allowed home networks to take off. So with those installed routers, the router split the incoming internet signal and sent it to other equipment in the house. Two broad types of home networks can include the wire, which includes the Ethernet, the power lines, and the phone lines, And then the wireless includes the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, and the Zigbee. Next, you have wired networks. So again, that's the Ethernet, and it's mostly used in business and university, and it's not very popular in homes because it costs so much to install and maintain that router. Next, you have the wireless, and this is the most popular type of home network. There are the types of wireless home networking can include Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, and mesh technologies. And mesh technologies are those that do not require a central control unit. And then lastly, the residential gateway. So this is also known as the broadband router. So this is what makes the home network more useful. So this device allows users on a home network to share access to their broadband connection. On the next slide, you have the net neutrality. So this is the idea that the internet service providers should treat all data that travels over their networks fairly, without the improper discrimination in favor of particular apps, sites, or services. It is a principle that must be upheld to protect the future of our open internet. Now, I know y'all asking yourself, why do I have a picture of Barack Obama? Well, the Obama administration and the FCC wanted to prevent the internet service providers from blocking prioritized access to web content. And they was basically arguing that this was a freedom of speech issue. But the FCC does remain committed to a free and open internet. The current status of broadband and home networks. So the statistics on broadband penetration vary widely. The OECD keeps track of the worldwide broadband penetration, and according to the ITU, broadband subscribers have gradually increased over the last few years. The United States currently ranks 15th in the world for broadband penetration. The future factors to watch. If the overall market share continues to expand, the development of home networking application will continue to escalate. And with the increase of tablets and other smart devices, the home networking device market will expect to grow more than $45 billion. So, wrapping up the presentation with the discussion board questions. So the first question is, how has broadband and home networks improved or demote your everyday life? And secondly, how much of a necessity is broadband and home networks? Thank you.